Okay, this is crazy. So the developers of Chronicles have just released a developer's sort of like note video, but this is updates for the whole year of 2024. So there's insane news, bunch of new units, new summoner, and I'm not talking about Heath, I'm talking about the 6th summoner, which is a warrior type, bunch of events, bunch of new continents, so I'll break it down in detail in this video. So first of all, yes, in January, Heath is coming out in the Korean server, so I will leave you some video on screen. Basically, it just showcases some of his abilities. We don't know the ability texts yet, like we don't know what the skills actually are, but it just shows some animations. The developers did mention that there will be a new mechanic called hiding, so I'm assuming that means invisibility. Basically, the summoner is being able to hide himself from being hit or just not seen in general. Maybe he can still get hit. But yeah, it looks like Heath will have some sort of a mechanic with hiding himself, making him much harder to detect. And speaking of which, as you can see on the screen, the new unit that is coming out in February in Korea is the Fairy King. So Pisamath, Ganymede, Daphnis, and I don't even know what the other two are. But yeah, for these ones, they did mention that they will have something to do with recovery skills, attack speed reduction, and cooldown reset on your own allies. Next up, there will be some new dungeon content sort of thing in January. So these are currently January. Only the Fairy King was teased for February. The rest of the changes I'm talking here will be coming out in January. So there's new fields and dungeons, it looks like. This was mentioned to be 3 new dungeons in the Sierra continent. Currently the Sierra continent is a bit underpopulated, but it looks like they will be adding some new dungeons to those. There's also some changes to the regular dungeons. So as you can see, Expedition and Rune dungeons, at least these are the ones that were teased. There may be other dungeons such as like Path of Training that are getting changed as well. But for these, it looks like Expedition will be going up to hard mode level 3 and Rune dungeons will be going up to hard mode level 5. And on top of that, there will be rankings for these dungeons, and basically they will reset every certain amount of time. I'm not sure. I think they mentioned weekly resets, and basically you get rewards for the best times in those dungeons. Just based on the times, as you can see, the times are like 12 minutes, 12 minutes 40. These are definitely not a single run, so there's a good chance you may need to do something like a run for each dungeon or something. And the highest, or basically the lowest time for each level 5 dungeon counts for that. So yeah, some sort of changes to Rune dungeons and Expedition, and those will be getting rankings as well as rewards based on those rankings. And now this one is a bit of a not change. So they did mention creating a new rune tier, basically above legendary, and that's called the mythic tier. And for mythic tier runes, there is a possibility to somehow modify either the rune set, or was it like the main stat, the substat? The translation was very confusing. I even checked the transcript. But yeah, I'm afraid I'm not able to give too much info on this, but we can see the visuals that there will be some sort of a new rune like tier, and it will be called the mythic tier. And speaking about runes, there will also be a system to re-up those runes. So basically, the way they are teasing the re-up is, as you can see, the bottom 3 stats are the same, but the top stat changes. So apparently, you can reroll one of the rune substats to a different one. So basically, somewhat similar to how the finding works or how re-apping works in Summoner's War Sky Arena, but just for one stat. So yeah, looks like you will be able to change a single stat for one of your substats. And on top of that, they did mention that these runes, like the mythic tier runes, they will give you some sort of buffs or debuffs to your PvP teams as well as the enemy PvP team. So this might not just be pure stats, there will be some sort of other added effects as well. Next up, in January, we're getting some transmogs as well. So first of all, Sylphs are getting a confirmed transmog, you can see it on screen. And they did mention making 4 other transmogs for the month of January. And if this picture says anything, I can only assume that these will be the units that are getting the transmogs. So potentially it will be the Cowgirl, the Beetle Knights, Pandas, and Sky Dancers. And now massive news when it comes to servers. So based on this image, I don't think I even need to explain much. I think you can sort of understand what this means. But basically they are equalizing the state of the game between global and Korea. So basically Korea is now somewhere between 1 week and 3 weeks ahead in updates. And in the end of January, I think they mentioned January 25th or something like that, they are gonna equalize both of the servers, so basically Korea and every other server, and release updates at the same time. That way they are sort of prepping for global PvP coming into the game. Also, Challenge Arena will be changing a bit. So previously, as you know, in Korea, the Challenge Arena is full order, whereas in global servers, the Challenge Arena is either order or manual, but basically most of the time if you're playing it, you will be playing it manual. It looks like they are gonna be changing that. So if you are finding an opponent of your level, at least based on this image, you will be proceeding with an order battle. However, if you are fighting a more difficult opponent, you do have the option to control it manually, because that way you're risking more points, but you can also gain more points. So yeah, it just puts more value on that challenge option. Now, in the same image, you also see that there is a Summoner Pass. So I'm not sure about the second Summoner Pass. They did mention upgrading the rewards of the Summoner Pass. However, the main thing they noted is that the price difference between Korea and global when it comes to Summoner Pass, because as you know, in Korea the Summoner Pass costs somewhere around 4 to 5 euros, and in global, for me for example, it costs like 10 euros. So they are making the price equal to global, so that will be 10 euros, but they are also increasing the rewards of that Summoner Pass. I don't think they mentioned what rewards that will be yet, but they did mention that they will be increasing them. And now again, the translation may have been wacky, but they did mention that whenever you buy the Summoner Pass, you get a certain monster. There is a chance that that monster may be a monster of your choice. They did mention like being the ability to choose a monster from that Summoner Pass. So take it with a grain of salt, but there is some changes happening to the monster selection in those Summoner Passes. And now changes happening in February. So first of all, what you're seeing on the screen are some transmogs, and these transmogs will be obtainable from account levels. They are basically increasing account level rewards. Again, these transmogs will most likely come at much higher rewards than free-to-plays are able to obtain. But yeah, they just want to incentivize people to upgrade their account level. The reason you're seeing 5 summoners is because the heath will already be released. And my boy, Heath is tall as hell, 6'5", measured on stream, as you can see. So yeah, there will be a first set of transmogs. There is a second set of transmogs, also obtainable from account levels. And there will be some special mounts as well. These are also available from account level shop, but they did mention that these mounts will be obtainable from very high levels of account shop. I'm sorry, I'm not account shop, account level rewards. Account shop is not changing. And in February, we are also getting a new unit. So this will be coming after Fairy Kings, and the unit is the Unicorn. Now, Unicorn is a bit of a special unit because it has 2 forms, sort of similar to a Beast Rider. However, they did not mention how it will interact yet, because he did say that it is still very early in development, and the only thing they can pretty much tease is the new unit itself. There's no skill info, no teasers about whatsoever. Now, a small teaser, there's also gonna be upgrades to Spire of Ascension. Hard to say whether this will be just a level increase or it will rework a system completely. Maybe there will be more challenges, but yeah, something is changing with Spires. And then there is the new bonding summon event. Not event, but like feature, right? So they did mention that some way. It will work sort of like you can imagine Soul Connect. Basically, one of them bonds to the other one and they will have some sort of special stats, special abilities. I'm not sure whether this system is the same one as teased to come out tomorrow in Korea, but yeah, there will be some sort of a monster bonding system where they can like improve each other. So we'll see how that works. The thing is, twins are pictured here, but I don't think it will apply just to twins. I think there will be available for more units. So basically they will be able to interact somehow together. And now updates in March. So since the global release happened in March, we will be getting the first anniversary for it as well. So there will be a big event, but they didn't tease too much about it yet. However, do get excited because it is definitely coming. And in March, there will also be a new world boss. So this one is referring to the world boss Solarian, basically. The one that is fully RNG and everyone hates it. So there will be a new type of boss. I'm not sure whether it will replace it completely. Maybe it will be on rotation. But yeah, there's a new world boss coming. So we'll stay tuned for that. And as you remember, Korea and Global will be equalized in January, which means it is time for World Arena. Now, do not get too excited, because they did mention that they will begin beta testing this in February and will proceed with a proper release in March if everything works out, right? But this is not Brawl Arena, it looks like. This refers more to Challenge Arena, because he did mention that these fights will not be fought in real time. And I can kind of understand, because unlike Summoners vs Sky Arena, stuff is happening way more in real life than, not in real time, than it would in Sky Arena, where it's just a turn-based game, so the ping really doesn't matter much. In here, ping matters a lot, and once you're hitting like 200 plus milliseconds ping, the game is very hard to play. So yeah, this looks like it will be a global challenge arena rather than a global brawl arena. And some news on the collab. So the collaboration that was promised is happening in March. They didn't mention the exact company or whatever they are collaborating. However, they did mention that it is a Japanese anime IP. So yeah, your guesses are as good as mine. I personally don't watch too much anime, so I'm completely clueless in what that could even be. But maybe based on these spoilers, you could let me know in your comments, or even give me your guess in the comments. I want to see what you think this collab will be. And this is not final collab news. Spoiler alert, there will be more news about a second collaboration happening. And now this is very distant news. So this is referring to the second quarter of 2024. This means this will be happening between April and June. So Asia and Korea servers will be merging into one. They will be merging into one. They will become one server. I'm not sure how many servers there will be. Maybe it will be one, maybe it will be split into multiples. I'm not even sure how many Asia servers there are currently. But Asia and Korea will be merging, so for all the Asia players, prepare to lose to a lot of Korean players who have been playing for half a year more than you did. Also, in the second quarter, we will be getting a new raid boss, so potentially this will be a new regular raid, even harder than Farakel. It looks like some sort of a Shadow Wolf. So yeah, new raid boss is coming as well. And on top of that, no good MMO goes without some sort of a housing feature. So there will be housing of some sort. Again, this is a very distant update, so they didn't tease too many features about it, but they just did say that there will be some sort of housing. I'm not sure whether this will be individual housing, guild housing, but yeah, if you cannot afford Minecraft, hey, here's Minecraft in Summoners War Chronicles, right? Another cool miscellaneous feature, again, don't get too excited by just looking at the image. There will not be any official tournaments. This mostly refers to a system for hosting tournaments. So basically, You've seen people like Barcode, people like Tougher Smurf are hosting tournaments. Basically, this allows you to host a tournament inside the game without the need of external website, external planning, all of that. So they're implementing some sort of a system, potentially with even higher number of attendees than just, I think you can only attend like 10 people in a single lobby at the moment. So yeah, there will be a new system for hosting tournaments, which hopefully makes it a bit easier for whoever is doing them. And now the next thing I am very scared of is the new advanced hero raid. Because hero raid was not difficult enough. We are getting some sort of an advanced hero raid. I don't know, based on the image, it looks like it's gonna be difficult. Because everything is hella red. But yeah, no further teasers. They just mentioned that the bosses in here will be even harder than the current hero raid. And now for even further news. This is the third quarter of the year, so anywhere between July and September, we are getting a new continent. And it's not gonna be a continent like Sierra with just 2 dungeons that basically do nothing. It's gonna be a new continent like Contana, where you can do stuff like rune grinding, AFK farming, mining, all of that, like a full new continent. Together with that, there will also be another new raid boss. So again, this looks like a weird shadowy figure. I'm seeing a theme here. I'm guessing this one might be connected to the new continent perhaps. It's hard to say, but the color theme at least sort of fits. Like that continent looks like it's in the clouds or something, and this one is like a misty cloud boss. Hard to say. But yeah, there's a new raid boss coming. And of course, while you haven't recovered from the first anniversary, we're jumping straight to the second anniversary. So this will most likely happen in August. This refers to the second anniversary of the Korean server. So I think it happened like in August for the first one. I'm assuming this will be one of the bigger ones, at least way bigger than the NA one, because they didn't disappoint with the first one for the Korean one. And yeah, there's an anniversary. And as I mentioned previously, collaboration part 2. So from what I understood, the collab will be with the same Japanese anime IP that they do in March. However, there will be some sort of like a second part, right? Like different events, different systems, sort of that thing, yeah? So there is a collab coming, but not too many news on that. Again, there are some letters in the background. The first one was S and the second one was E, so maybe there are some Japanese animes that start with S and E, or maybe it means something in those animes. So if there are, do mention them in the comments, because I'm completely lost in the whole anime scene. But yeah, looks like there is some more teasers for this anime collab. And the last thing in this third quarter announcement, and possibly the biggest one, the 6th summoner, which is a warrior type, is gonna be coming to Summoners War Chronicles. This is teased for the third quarter, so again, we will see a release of this. I am gonna guess somewhere in September of 2024. But yeah, they did mention that this will be some sort of a warrior with like dual blades in his hands or dual swords. Hard to say how it works. We don't even have Heath yet, so I'm not gonna speculate too early. But yeah, exciting news, exciting news. So yeah, that's about it for this video. It was a banger, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the biggest news they have released this year. And yeah, that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you like and what you don't like. Let me know if you have any speculation about what the collab could be. And yeah, peace.